Hello there, Father Tom Koys here with a brain wrinkling minute. I want to talk about heaven, topic that we should all kind of be interested in it, should we not? I recently gave a copy of everything you wanted to know about heaven, but were afraid to ask, to my dear beloved mother, who is getting to that age where thoughts of heaven quite naturally occupy her mind, and much to my surprise, somewhat, she said she needs a little help in trying to understand and unpack the meaning of this philosophical work. So what I'd like to do is to share with you some snippets, help to understand a little better this what we hope for when we hope to get to heaven. What should we think and what should we not think? The first thing we're going to discuss is a distinction that Peter Kreeft helps us understand, the difference between what we mean by space and place. Because after all, isn't one of the questions that many people ask about heaven is, where is heaven? Or when we're there, what will it be like? And when we think of what will it be like, we think about moving about. Like when we say, when I get to Paris, what will Paris be like? Or when I get to the mountains, what will the mountains be like? It's usually what we think of. However, we got to think differently about the place we call heaven as opposed to our earthly thinking. And to help us do that, we need to understand the difference between space and place. Now you might say, that's a silly difference. There's just two different words for the same reality. But not really. Let's examine a little further. Peter Kreeft says very wisely, he says that it is more true to say that space is not the same as place. In order to figure this out, let's use the example of where I am right now at St. James of the Sag Church. Outside my window is the beautiful St. James Sag Church, built in 1833. A beautiful place, if I must say so. However, I'm adding lots of words, I'm adding lots of meaning to this place. Let us say that the space that this church occupies right now, about 300 yards outside my window, let us take that space that is occupied by 50 square feet. That 50 square feet void of the church, which gives meaning to that space, is just simply space. And you can identify that space as with coordinates from a GPS, and you could say that that space has always been what it's been. But anyways, it's a beautiful insight to see the difference between space and place. Here's another little example. We all know that getting from one place to another is a great frustration. Am I not right? Airport travel, cars breaking down, snow and ice and all the rest, traffic jams. Going from point A to point B is definitely one of the frustrations of our mortal life in this world. So in heaven, if we are to be free of the frustrations of this world, we will need to overcome these frustrations about going from point A to point B. Or let us say that everyone who loves somebody knows that distance is often a part of our sadness and our frustrations of this world. A soldier writes home and says, how much I miss you. Give my children a hug and a kiss. I'll be back soon. And that emptiness that's in the two lovers' hearts is directly related to the frustration about space and places in this world. However, the frustration and the sadness is tied to the meaning of where they are and how far apart they are. The meaning gives it that frustration. Again, space can be identified by quadrants on a map or on a GPS. And that space is always what it was for all eternity, you could kind of say, or at least since time began. But in order to appreciate heaven and the meaning of heaven as a place, we have to realize that place transforms, or no, I'll say it this way, that meaning transforms space into place. Do you get it? Let me give an example of this space right here. As I said, I'm sitting outside beautiful St. James Sag Church. And let us say that that space 300 years ago was occupied by Indian tribes. Actually, the Potawatomi Indians roamed around these environs long before Chicago was Chicago. And let us say we can prove that there was a Potawatomi teepee right where the church stands right now. I am now putting meaning into that space. Are you following me? Let me add a little more meaning. Let me say that the family that lived in that teepee happened to be the chief of the tribe. And let us say that that family, the tribe with his wife, had 3 consecutive stillborn children. And then lo and behold, the 4th child was born alive and grew up and was a wonderful young man, or an old man. More meaning to that space. Are you following me? Let me add a little more meaning. Let us say that I was to discover that that little boy who survived from that Indian tribe that occupied that space in that teepee happened to be my great-great-great-great-grandfather. Whoa! Now this space takes on great meaning. Are you following me? So it's all about meaning. We can't think about heaven as a place without thinking about what's the meaning of heaven. Well, I'm Father Tom Koys. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to Unlike Other Nations, and like my channel, subscribe to my channel. God bless you.